Hello everyone. Welcome back to this channel. There is one question that keeps quietly returning to the minds of fans who watched Pursuit of Jade. After everything Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei created together on screen, could we really see them work together again? At first, it sounds like a simple question. Another drama. Another project. Another opportunity for two actors who already proved that they could create something special together. But the deeper you look into the reactions from fans, the more interesting this story becomes. Because this is no longer simply about whether two popular actors might reunite. It is about chemistry. It is about timing. It is about the kind of connection between two performers that makes audiences stay long after the final episode has ended. And perhaps most importantly, it is about whether lightning can strike twice. When Pursuit of Jade arrived, Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei quickly became one of the most discussed pairings among viewers who followed the series. Their characters had tension. They had vulnerability. They had moments of silence that seemed to say more than words. And then there were those small interactions. A glance. A pause. A smile that lasted just a little longer. A reaction that seemed completely natural. These were the moments that made fans stop and watch again. And sometimes, watch again. And again. That is how chemistry becomes more than just chemistry. It becomes a memory. It becomes something viewers begin carrying with them even after the story is finished. And that is exactly where the experiment begins. Imagine this. If Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei were suddenly announced for another project tomorrow, would fans react the same way? Would the excitement still be there? Would millions of viewers immediately begin discussing their chemistry again? Or was the magic something that belonged only to Pursuit of Jade? That question may sound simple. But fandom reactions suggest that the answer could be much more complicated. After the drama's success, fans did not simply move on to the next pairing. Instead, many continued talking about a possible second collaboration, often referred to by Chinese fans as. And that phrase became increasingly familiar. A second project. A second chance. A second story. A second opportunity to see Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei standing opposite each other on screen. And then, something happened that once again caught the attention of fans. In June 2026, similarities in their styling became another reason for fans to start talking about them together. To some viewers, it was simply fashion. Nothing more. A coincidence. Two celebrities wearing similar styles at different moments. But to devoted fans, it became another reason to ask the same question. Could they really work together again? Of course, this is where we need to slow down. Because there is a huge difference between what fans notice and what has actually been confirmed. A similar outfit does not prove a secret project. A matching aesthetic does not prove communication between two celebrities. And fan enthusiasm does not automatically become an official announcement. But there is something that cannot be ignored. The reaction itself. The fact that fans still care. The fact that months after Pursuit of Jade, people are still discussing what Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei could create together again. That is the real story. Because sometimes the strongest evidence of an on-screen pairing is not a rumor. It is the audience refusing to let the feeling disappear. And perhaps that explains why their chemistry continues to receive so much attention. Fans often describe their interactions as natural. Not forced. Not overly dramatic. Just easy. The kind of chemistry where the smallest expression can change the atmosphere of an entire scene. And that is something audiences recognize immediately. You cannot always manufacture that feeling. You can write a romantic scene. You can create beautiful costumes. You can build an expensive set. You can place two attractive actors in front of a camera. But none of those things guarantee chemistry. Sometimes, it simply happens. And when it happens, viewers notice. They talk about it. They make edits. They replay scenes. They search for interviews. They watch behind-the-scenes footage. And eventually, they begin asking for more. That is what makes the Zhang Linghe Tian Xiwei situation so fascinating. Because the demand for another collaboration did not appear from nowhere. It grew from the audience's experience watching them together. During promotional activities for Pursuit of Jade, fans also had opportunities to see their dynamic outside the drama itself. And those moments created another layer of curiosity. Because suddenly, viewers were not only watching fictional characters. They were watching two actors interacting as themselves. The laughter. The small reactions. The comfortable moments. The playful exchanges. For fans, these moments became part of the larger story. And perhaps one of the most memorable things about a successful screen pairing is exactly this. The audience begins wondering what the actors could create if they were given an entirely different story. A modern romance, perhaps. A completely different genre. Something darker. Something more emotional. Or maybe something surprisingly light. The possibilities are endless. And that is where the experiment becomes even more interesting. Instead of asking, are Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei secretly working on something? Perhaps we should ask something much more honest. If they were given the opportunity, would audiences still want them together? The response from fans appears to suggest, yes. Very much so. But there is an important twist. As of now, there is no official confirmation that Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei have been cast together in another drama. There is no confirmed announcement that a second project is already happening. So the idea of there remains an expectation among fans? A hope. A possibility. A conversation that continues to grow. And perhaps that uncertainty is exactly what keeps the story alive. Because if everything had already been confirmed, there would be no mystery. There would be no question. There would simply be an announcement. But right now, there is silence. And sometimes, silence creates more curiosity than an announcement ever could. Fans are waiting, watching, comparing, wondering. Could there be another story? Could there be another project? Could the same two actors who made viewers feel so much in Pursuit of Jade create something even stronger the second time around? And then comes the most emotional question of all. What if their next project were completely different? What if Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei were given characters who had nothing in common with their previous roles? Would their chemistry still shine? Would fans still recognize that special feeling? Or would they discover something even better? That is the experiment. Not proving a relationship. Not turning speculation into fact. Not searching for hidden meanings in every photo. But simply asking whether two performers who connected so strongly with an audience could recreate that magic in a completely new story. And honestly, that possibility is exciting. Because a second collaboration does not have to repeat the first one. It could become something entirely new. Maybe the first story gave audiences chemistry. And the second could give them maturity. Maybe the first gave them romance. And the next could give them emotional depth. Maybe the first collaboration introduced Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei as a memorable screen pairing. And the second could prove whether that pairing was truly special. There is also something beautiful about the way fans talk about them. Not every comment is about romance. Not every fan is trying to connect their personal lives. Many simply want to see two talented actors share the screen again. That distinction matters. Because the strongest argument for another collaboration does not need to be based on rumors about their private lives. It can be based entirely on their work. Their performances. Their timing. Their expressions. Their ability to make viewers believe in the characters they play. And if audiences genuinely enjoyed watching them together, why wouldn't they want another story? Perhaps that is why the question refuses to disappear. Will Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei finally work together again after Pursuit of Jade? Maybe the answer is yes. Maybe the answer is no. Maybe the next project is already being discussed somewhere behind closed doors. Or maybe there is absolutely nothing planned yet. Right now, we simply do not know. But one thing is clear. The audience is still watching. Still hoping. Still talking. And perhaps that is the most powerful compliment two actors can receive. Because when a drama ends, most stories eventually fade. Characters disappear. Scenes become memories. But sometimes, a certain chemistry remains. It stays in the minds of viewers. It appears in comments. It returns in edits. It reappears whenever the two actors are mentioned together. And eventually, someone asks the question again. When will we see them together? Maybe that question is not asking for a rumor. Maybe it is asking for another story. Another chance. Another moment. Another scene where Zhang Linghe looks across the frame. And Tian Xiwei looks back. And for just a few seconds, the audience forgets that they are watching actors. They simply believe in the story. So now, I want to hear from you. If Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei were officially offered a second project together, would you want them to reunite? Would you prefer another historical romance? A modern love story? Or something completely different? And most importantly, do you believe their chemistry is strong enough to create the same excitement a second time? Tell me your answer in the comments. Because maybe the next chapter of this story will not begin with an official announcement. Maybe it begins with one simple question from the fans. Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei, when will we see you together again? Until the next video. Take care. And keep watching.